Call to order the special town council meeting for Monday, February 2nd, 2026. Janelle, would you please call the roll?
Councilor Bailey? Here. Councilor Ross?
Here.
Councilor Smith?
Here.
And Mayor Cruz.
I'm here. Okay, if you'll join me in the pledge. Councilmember Ross, would you lead us in the pledge?
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next order of business is public comment from the citizens on any items that are not on the agenda. No one? Okay. Next order of business is interviewing for town council applicants for Ward 2. We have 2 applicants tonight. The council can choose who they would like to interview first. We have a set of questions that you're going to ask. Please, because we have 2 applicants, do not deviate from the questions. Please do not deviate from the questions. If you ask one member one question, you have to ask a second. So if you stick with the plan, you won't have to worry about the second council applicant. So, who would council like to interview first?
Well, we can go by alphabet or we can go by chivalry.
Okay. Does that mean you'd like to interview council member Wander first? Or
If
council
she
member
wants to go
perspective?
ladies first.
Okay, so when we do this is you will need to go, we're gonna send you over to the council or to the council office to sit and wait. Because you can't be party to the questions. Okay, would you show them?
Daniel, there's a chair right out here in the main lobby for you to sit in.
I was in the military once. I know how to hurry up and wait.
There's a chair for you there, sir.
Okay, Mrs. Wander, would you like to come up and take a seat? Get you a chair here.
The hot seat right here. This is the hot seat right there.
Get close where we can hear you.
Oh.
Okay, we'll do this round robin. We'll just start with Councilor.
All right, Wanda.
Karen.
As you heard, we're going to be going right down the line of the questions. So the first one here is, tell us about yourself, your qualities, special talents, and why you are applying for town council.
I'm Karen Wander. I was born and raised in Stevensville. I'm probably one of the oldest citizens in the town of Stevensville. I worked for the Forest Service for 37 years and retired. I'm married for going on 60 years, have 3 children. What were the other questions in that? Oh, I'm running for city council because I'm anxious to see the change in what is going on in Stevensville, and I'd like to be a part of it. I've seen a lot of changes in Stevensville, and I'm really glad that we have new blood on the council. It's not a part of the political era that has gone on before, and I think I would be anxious to work with any of you and get your thoughts on small town Montana.
Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Ross?
Have you discussed with family and friends about becoming a council member and about the time and commitment that the position can require?
Yes, I have. I was on the council before. I stepped in when someone quit, and my husband's aware of it. He's encouraged me to put in for it, and I'd like to be a part of the change coming on in Stevensville. Yes. I've got a lot, the reason I put in to do this again was I got a lot of people asking me to put in for it because of my performance last time on the council.
Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Bailey?
What do you hope to accomplish as a council member?
Ooh, I'd like to see things become more even again and legal things going on. I think that's a good opportunity now because Jim is aware of all laws and regulations. When I was on the council before, we had a couple of rounds about that. But he does listen when you talk to him. I think that this council is the one that's going to turn the whole situation around. New blood is important.
Councilmember Smith.
As a, which one now? Five. Four. As a council member, how do you plan to involve our residents in the decision process?
I like to walk, I like to talk to people in town, I like to listen to people and what their ideas are. And my idea is to be honest with them, why I would agree with them and not agree with them. Be totally honest. I think that's the most important thing. And if they have an idea that is probably better than mine, I have to pick my wounds and say, okay.
Councilmember Ross.
With the town facing growth and the current water issues, how do you plan on addressing these concerns?
That is a big issue, especially the water and sewer issue. I know that I would get a lot of complaints from the community about the water and sewer, and I would get more involved with what I know about it and make suggestions to the council on recommendations to the mayor. Visit with the people and find out why and they're upset. Rates are going up all over, so it's something we have to adjust to.
All right, what do you believe to be the most significant challenges facing our community?
Water and sewer, just the maintenance of the city. That there's a lot of decisions to be made. I'm sure there will be a lot of changes made with Jim taking over. I'm very happy with the fire department, their performance, the police department and their performance. I think the biggest problem is getting people to talk about why they're frustrated and listen to them and try to resolve their problems.
Councilmember Smith.
Hey, Wanda, how will you,
That's Karen.
excuse me,
I'm called Wanda a lot, that's okay.
Are you?
Yes,
will you go by that too, because people like me to move up, right?
and they don't call me Campbell, that was my maiden name.
Okay. How will you balance your current personal commitments with your duties as town council member? And being on the council, you know there's a few duties, aren't there?
I think, well, I am a customer for the Playhouse. I'm a quilter, so I have my own quilting machine in the area. But taking on this commitment, I would consider it number one priority. If there's a meeting, I don't have to quilt, I don't have to sew for the Playhouse at that time.
Thank you.
It would be my top priority.
Councilmember Ross.
Last question on here, how would you handle a conflict of interest while serving as a town council member?
Laws, regulations, and orders. I was faced with that working for the Forest Service, and I don't know of any instance that there could be a conflict of interest, but I do know, well, being on the council and everything, you don't want to be with your best friend. It's like hiring people. It's a business, it's something we have to work with, and you don't have to like everybody, but you do have to get along. And as far as any family, I have a lot of family here, but there wouldn't be any conflict there.
Okay. That's it.
You have no questions?
This is, yeah, as a council, so what a lot of people don't understand is council appoints their own. Because they are the legislative branch, I'm the executive branch, so this is their job.
Well, take the judicial branch if you like.
She sits over there. So, That's it for now.
I think the opportunity to talk to you.
That's it.
I'm happy for the opportunity to apply and contact you guys.
Well, we're gonna have you do a swap places with the other fellow. Okay, we're gonna interview him,
With the fellow,
the other fellow.
the other fellow.
Fellow,
Oh, the other person that's in the hall.
Yeah.
Who's sitting in the corner.
She has to learn military ways.
That's right. Don't have any answers? No. No cheat sheet. No cliff notes. Where did Wanda come from?
I'm sorry?
What's her last name?
Wandler, okay.
Don gave her the last name.
Husband right there. Okay, I was hearing Wanda.
Yeah, well, that was me goofing up.
I should have known.
Come on in, Daniel, if you would please sit.
We were introducing ourselves out there.
Okay, so basically we have an 8-question bank to ask you, and we're gonna do round robin with the council, let them ask the questions, and then after the questions, we'll ask you to step out and sit with Karen for a little while they kind of debate a little bit, and then they'll announce their decision.
Okay.
Okay, let's start this end of the table first.
All right.
Councilmember Bailey.
Tell us about yourself, your qualities or special talents, and why you are applying for town council.
My history is, yes, I'm from California. That has to get taken care of first. I emphasize from, but I lived up in Lake Tahoe, and 1/3 of the lake is Nevada. So with that, came out of marriage, had seen Montana in 1963 at a family trip through here. And with that, got an idea of what the state was like. Later on, about 1968, I was 5-year college for architecture. Became a student regional director for Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana. So I took another trip through Montana, got to meet 2 fellows over at Bozeman and took over after me. During my term of office, I also found out that it also included Alaska, Hawaii, and Guam. So the 2 people that succeeded me over in Bozeman got a trip to Hawaii. During that 5-year college period, I also was getting pressed a little bit about Vietnam. So with that, I got into the Navy, OCS pilot candidate. We are called midshipman at the same time. So with that, yes, I've been in the military and the Navy. So there's some connection there. Obviously, they go through some sophisticated questioning to get into that position. They only needed 1,000 out of 2,000 signed up nationally. So again, I saw Montana again. And with that, I moved from Lake Tahoe to living in Montana. And what an experience. First off, my ex-wife had the title to the car in a safety deposit box back in California. Took me 3 months to get a title to the car to get the Montana license plate. So I know a little bit about the interest in keeping California out. I've been here about 16 years now. I taught Flathead Community College in Libby and moved to Kalispell, lived up there for about 10 years. And with that, yeah, the town was starting to look like California. So I moved further down 93. And I've been here about 7 years now. With that, I am a retired architect. I've done several buildings down 93 in Sun Valley and numerous other ones. I've participated in design for 2 buildings at Hill Air Force Base, designed a courthouse building in Cedar City, Utah, and also going to Kalispell. They had an advertisement or an article as such for drivers for disabled vets. I volunteered for it. Thought a great way to find out about Western Montana. Government provided the car, provided the gas, and if you drove 4 hours, you got $7.50 on a charge card for lunch. I've got a little bit of a sense of humor, but anyway, I went to Albertsons once, got a loaf of bread and a block of cheese. Then I heard from Helena, Fort Harrison, oh, you gotta go to a drive-up window and get a greasy hamburger. So anyway, with that, the badge that I was issued was with 2 FBI background checks, which I obviously passed. And with that, the badge was put forth by Homeland Security. My humor is, no, they didn't issue me camo and a bulletproof vest. I asked about a sidearm. My supervisor, a lady said, yeah, I'm still waiting for mine. So with that, I drove 10,000 miles from Kalispell over western Montana, down to Missoula, over to Helena, and amounted to 300 hours. So with that, there's community involvement there for 2 years of driving. Other than that, one of the attractions of the area here, coming from Lake Tahoe, elevation 6,500 feet, is mountains, blue sky, big trees, and Stevensville has the same sort of imagery around it here. So with that, I'm offering my experience as an architect, and with that, it's back to you again.
Councilmember Ross.
Have you discussed with family and friends about becoming a council member and about the time and commitment that position can require?
Yes, I happen to run into the mayor on occasion, and very pleasantly so. Early in life in Eugene, Oregon, and I'm an Oregonian rather than a Californian, I was involved with civic things there at that time. Several mayor's committees. Eugene, Oregon was very participant involved with citizenry about how the town was being formed, what things were critical, what things look to the future. And with that, I have a long list, but it's also the last century. So.
Hey, Councilmember Smith.
What do you hope to accomplish as a council member? And by the way, I'm Wally Smith, and it's good to meet you, Daniel.
Pleased to meet you. But in a humorous way, I look at the word Bitterroot, and if you change the I to E, it becomes Betterroot. Okay.
That's
So
public, that's the same
with that, I know that won't possibly be done. There's a lot of letterhead that costs too much. But with that, I've had experience in my own architectural office of working with younger people. I know they're different. Yes, I'm younger than the previous president of the US and the current president, but there's still some energy there to help people to grow into a favored and nourished type of environment. And with that, I'd like to continue with that.
Thank you.
Councilmember Bailey.
As a council member, how do you plan to involve our residents in the decision process?
Oh, I thought about that, and contact is somewhat difficult. I mean, you meet people every day. Of course, they don't walk up to you and say, "Are you the counselor?" And with that, I thought, well, offering my cell phone number is one approach to it. In architecture and training, you have a lot of input from other people in the design of the building. And that's a quality that should exist. Take into other people's comments and concerns, and then come up with an idea that serves in good design to all those involved.
Councilmember Ross.
With the town facing growth and the current water issues, how do you plan on addressing these concerns?
With the town growth,
With the town facing growth and the current water issues, how do you plan on addressing those concerns?
that gets back to what's kind of unfortunate in the transfer of the federal government imagery at this time. About 2.5 years ago, I was on the planning and zoning board here, on my own, and not with any sort of direct ability by the board. I got in touch with USDA Missoula and found out at that time they had 2 individuals that were quite possibly very beneficial to the city. First off, they told me, I was the first one that walked into their office and asked what potential there is. One individual, last name Urban, was in charge of water and waste treatment. At that time, Shoto, Montana had their whole system reworked. I went out there and said, well, can we be first or next in line? The other was in charge of solar energy. When I asked about it, I was asking about putting solar panels on the rooftop here. Given that at that time, the budget was $17,000 for electricity. So with that, thought about energy conservation in this building, possibly lowering the whole effect there. At that time, they had an eye towards Stevensville with putting the solar farm out here. Well, change in politics, the COVID situation, everything. I tried to get back to these people. They were very friendly. They had money at that time. I called up recently, and USDA is not answering the telephone at all. They've been closed down. So that's the situation. There's also other avenues to look into. The electric company provider is interested in lowering some of the electric bills. They might have subsidies that might work there. So with that, yeah, I'd be interested in finding out more. Obviously, we don't have a lot of money here in this town, and to look up other potentials and advantages would be one of my interests to help out there.
Thank you. Councilmember Smith.
Okay, Daniel, what do you believe is the most significant challenge facing our community?
My sense of humor enters into that again. I was on a phone call, my social security back east. Young fellow said, "Stevensville, Montana, what's that like?" And I gave him a little bit of my humor. Well, yes, I can drive into town and see 2 cowboy hats without looking for them. Yes, we have Indians, and there's only one stop in Main Street. Well, with that, he laughed and he said, "I can't even imagine one stoplight in Main Street." And I said, "Who said it was a stoplight?" So with that, I didn't want to tell him about the hybrid buffalo too. That was going a little too far on the humor. But there's a character about town. Yes, we are rural. And yes, people are attracted here for that. Anticipation is there are going to be a lot more out-of-state license plates here. So the effect of all of it is for the older residents that were even born here is to keep the qualities that they like. I'm not advocating concrete sidewalks and gutters. And with that, if they're attracted here, what's attractive to them? Let's keep it that way. And yes, population when it first came through Montana was maybe 500,000. Then it got up to about 750,000 as I lived up in Kalispell. Now it's 1.3 million. There are towns that have more population than the state. And we can't control the growth, but we can make it amenable to where it works for all and still be attractive. And still rural.
Councilmember Bailey.
Sorry.
Oh, page 3.
Page turn, okay. How will you balance your current personal commitments with your duties as a Town of Stevensville council member?
Pardon me?
How will you balance your current personal commitments with your duties as a Town of Stevensville council member?
Well, my personal position is I've been in retirement for at least a dozen years. So I've got a lot of time. And as I thanked Janelle coming in here, said, "Thank you for taking me away from that television." And so I do have the time and opportunity to express the community in a good way and hope for what is decided and what I might share in to advance the community into the century. I'm not pro-computer, and I do wear an analog watch. So obviously I was born in the last century, but with that, we've got to live with those computers and things like that. And let's see how we can make it work.
Councilmember Smith.
How would you handle a conflict of interest while serving as a town council member?
somehow it enters into also political parties. I came to Montana as an independent, and there's red state, there's blue state, and I'm in the middle ground in between. People deserve to have their voice heard, but at the same time, I don't like extremes that tend to override logic and common sense. So with that, if you go locally to the barber here, Molly talks up the Republican side of everything. Coming from Kalispell, I was kind of forced into being a Democrat, although I'm still an independent. Political parties, if they can come together and talk, is my ideal politic.
Could I interject something? Okay, I don't think he understood the question. Okay, we're talking about a conflict of interest, not politically, but more of on a personal relationship for being able to make a decision on the council.
Okay, conflict of interest. I live in an assisted senior center, and with that, don't have much conflict at all. So with that, I gave my 25-year-old Subaru to NPR, and with that, I've got no conflict of interest as such that you'll hear voiced from me, no separate interests, especially not financial.
Okay, well, that concludes the questions. So what we need to do now is move to the next phase of this operation. And that would be for you to step out with Mrs. Wandler, and council will kind of bat this around. And then they'll come back and make a decision.
Thank you. We'll pass it after. There's no chair. You're very welcome.
Okay, so discussion decision, appointment of applicant to Town of Stevensville Town Council Ward 2. So you folks need to kind of bat it around, and at some point you'll need to make a motion to move to appoint a candidate. So do we have any council discussion?
Could just start with a motion, we go from there.
Okay,
Could do that.
all right.
Okay, then
Councilmember Smith.
I move that we nominate and elect Daniel Ravel as the next Ward 2 councilman.
Okay, so a motion on the floor to nominate and appoint Daniel Ravel as the next town council member for Ward 2. Councilmember Ross.
Can I ask a clarifying question to that?
I'm sorry?
Can I ask a question to clarify that motion?
Yes.
Making that motion is just us discussing it, not actually approving,
That's correct.
then I will second.
Okay, so I have the motion on the floor to appoint Daniel Ravel as the town council member for Ward 2. Council discussion.
I thought he had extensive knowledge working with government agencies, it sounds like. I mean, from his experience as an architect and all the permitting that goes into that and building, I think that's great experience for the council. That would be my comment on that.
Okay.
I agree. I think he has, with his teaching background and everything, he's got experience interacting with people and engaging and bringing in advice or experience, knowledge.
Okay. Any further discussion? Would the public like to weigh in on this?
Sue Devlin, 3056 Street. I disagree. I looked at his application. There are a bunch of blank spots that were not filled out. Not, you know, if you're not gonna answer a question, then put a line through it, make some notation that you've actually read the application and what it implies. The only reference he gave was a neighbor. He's lived here for 7 years. He says he's worked with the Senior Citizen Center, which is wonderful. And working with disabled veterans, it's wonderful. I do not believe that he understood a number of the questions that were asked of him, nor did he answer the actual questions. We heard a lot about California and Lake Tahoe. Yes, he's got some good background experience, but he didn't pay attention to the application. He didn't answer the questions that were asked of him. And I just really don't feel that he would be a good asset to the council. Again, with ignoring the questions on the application, not answering the questions that were asked of him, how is he going to handle being on the council with questions being asked, with research having to be done? He said he is techno, that's me, but a lot of what goes on here has to be researched, laws and regulations, rules and regulations. And again, if he's not going to follow simple things, how is he going to handle some of the in-depth problems that come up with the town? That's my perspective. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I feel like I was a little bit concerned with his answer to the last question because I felt like he may not have a grasp of the things that are really going on in Stevensville and what the citizens are concerned about. He doesn't have his finger on the pulse of the town. That was just my takeaway. But
Thank you. Okay, further public comment? Any further discussion by the council? Yes, Councilmember Ross.
I think there was maybe a little confusion there with that, but can I make a motion that we table the motion to have discussion about both individuals?
You can discuss both.
Wait a minute,
It's open discussion.
You have a motion on the floor in a second. Okay, right now the motion on the floor is whether or not to appoint Daniel Ravel, okay? If you would like to, if somebody would like to withdraw the motion, then there's a process to do it, or you may vote as it is right now. So the person that made the motion is Councilmember Smith, he would have to request to withdraw the motion.
Because I would like to discuss the other candidate.
Okay? And you can do that.
We can do
You
that.
have a motion on the floor, so you could do that.
Okay. In that case, what I liked about Karen was that she has former council experience. She is pretty familiar with the city or the town's ongoings, as was mentioned, and I felt that she answered the questions pretty directly and gave a good answer to all of those questions.
Yeah, I agree. I think she'd be a good representative of the people because she is from Stevensville, has that experience of living here for a long time. And I think that's super valuable. And I agree with everything that you said as well.
So you have an option right now. Councilmember Smith could withdraw your motion and council vote to accept the withdrawal and the new motion forwarded, or you can vote on the current motion. What's your pleasure?
Do we even have a second?
Yes.
Yes, you have a second.
We do. All right. So you'd rather me withdraw the motion and go
Well,
a different way?
that's your decision.
So you want to take a vote then?
We certainly can.
Okay, Janelle, would you please call for the vote?
Councilmember Bailey,
No.
Councilmember Ross,
No.
and Councilmember Smith.
No?
Okay, so the motion fails 3-0. Is there a new motion on the floor? Councilmember Ross.
I make a motion that we appoint Karen to the council.
Okay, so the movement on the floor is to appoint Karen Wanberg as Ward 2 council representative. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second? Councilmember Smith is seconding the motion. Okay, is there any public comment? Any further council discussion? Okay, Janelle, would you please call for the vote?
Councilmember Bailey,
Yes.
Councilmember Ross,
Yes.
and Councilmember Smith.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried 3-0. Would you please bring the candidate in? Let's announce the results. Yes,
Thank you.
You ready to come back in, please?
I want to thank both of you for applying. Okay, it takes a lot of guts to put your name in the hat. And it's not always a fun job sitting up here on this table, especially when you're making complicated decisions regarding people's lives. In this case, the council has come to a decision, and the decision is to appoint Karen Wanberg as the Ward 2 representative. Daniel, thank you very much for putting your name in the hat. We appreciate that very much.
Well, we've been talking out here, and yes, it'd be wonderful.
So, with that decision being announced, we need to swear Mr. Wanberg in.
You gonna swear?
Yes.
No, you cannot, Karen. No.
I swear.
I swear.
So what we're gonna do, come on up here. What we're gonna do is we'll swear you in. We don't have a paper Bible, but we have a digital Bible here. We have 14 digital Bibles.
I have so many Bibles on this. Would you like a certain version?
That's okay.
Okay. So, Don, would you like to come and hold the Bible for Karen?
I've got to call you back. I'm in a meeting.
Okay, this is electronic Bible.
Very modern day.
Yeah. You want to place your left hand on the Bible?
Left hand.
And raise your right hand. Okay. Repeat after me. I, Karen Wanberg,
I, Karen Wanberg,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
protect, and defend
protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Montana,
and the Constitution of the State of Montana,
and that I will discharge the duties
and I will discharge the duties
of council member of the town of Stevensville.
as council member of the town of Stevensville,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah. I guess I got to sign. You did a good job. Jesus. You know, there was another place in London with bad chicks.
Oh, no.
She was carrying them too.
Okay.
Always send Karen one, thank Karen.
Thank you,
We're
Karen.
gonna have to keep these youngins in line.
Karen.
Okay, if you would please,
The seal is yours.
if you would please, we gotta conclude the meeting,
President,
please, please. Yeah, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Okay.